This is Carl at National RV Detroit. I'm going to show you through your 2020 Autumn Ridge Model 26 BHS. Okay, I'm here on the door side of the trailer, moving towards the rear. Alrighty, and here you can see this is your water heater. The switches to control it are inside the trailer. This is your drain right here, your drain valve or plug. That's where you would drain it from. Always make sure there's water in the water heater tank before you turn on the heater, the gas or electric to heat it with, because you'll damage it. So you always make sure there's water in it. You do that by hooking up your city water, turning on a hot water valve, and it should be solid water coming out. If not, it'll continue to fill, and it'll be like air coming out first, then a mixture of air and water. Eventually you get solid water coming out, you know that it's full, okay? You got a power awning with LED strip. That's just the service panel for your refrigerator. This is the vent for your range hood. There's a baffle in here. It'll flap freely. And if you're using this vent over your range, then the fan over your range, you're going to have the vent open, flapping freely. Otherwise, you keep it shut. Okay. Got power on the outside. This is your fresh water tank fill. Normally you'll be using city water because most campgrounds have city water, but if you happen to go to one that doesn't have plumbing on the campsite, you can pre-fill this tank and use the onboard pump to pump water. So everything still works like you have city water, okay? Okay. This device here, or this plug here, receptacle, is just for a solar battery charger if you ever were to purchase one. This particular brand is Zamp. Cellular, solar, holy cow, that's at the fourth time, Zamp Solar, and it would just plug in here and it'll charge your battery, that's all. It won't run the trailer or anything like that, but if you're in need of one, that's where you would plug it in. Alright, so this is your hitch. It's a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. So we'll show you how that operates when you pick up your trailer. If you're at a campground and you need to refresh your memory, you could always go to their website and follow the links to their video for hookup, and we'll go from there. I think I'm starting to get a heat stroke here. It's about 100 degrees plus here, so I'm getting kind of slap happy here. I apologize in advance. This is a sprayer. It plugs into a quick connect you have on your trailer. I'll show you that. This crank here on the top is for your stabilizer jacks. It's a 3/4 inch hex. You can use a drill with a socket, 3/4 inch socket on it, if you'd rather do that. And the smaller crank here that's hanging there, that's just for your tongue jack. In case it was to fail, you can pull this plug out of the top here, and you can crank it manually if you have to. All right. You got two 30-pound LP tanks already filled. This is an automatic changeover regulator, so it'll change one over, then the other one, and back and forth automatically. You have a deep cycle marine battery right there. All right. You have a scissor type stabilizers on each corner, and they use that 3/4 inch crank or a socket on a drill. Of course, your slide out is out here. All right, so this is your 30 amp power cord, 30 feet long, 30 amp. All right. This is your docking station for your water. You can just put it in the up position right there. All right, so the sprayer I showed you plugs right onto there, so you can hose things down with it. Kids and dogs and feet and bicycles or whatever you got. All right. Then I also showed you how you could fill the tank on the other side. There's a second way to do that. I'll show you that in a second. So basically, this is your city water hookup right here. You're going to hook your city water hose right to there. You can see this drawing here. It's showing the lever in this position. So that's set up to use city water. So you would just turn on your water and you're ready to go. Now, if you wanted to fill your tank from here, you could do it from the other side, remember. But if you wanted to fill it from here, you would put it in this position, and it'll actually fill the tank. So you got two ways to get water to the tank. All right. These are your dump valves here. You can see that's your gray valve. Gray is sink and shower water. Black valve is toilet, water, and waste. So you're going to put your hose on the end of here, obviously the other end goes in the dump station, and you'll pull the black tank first and dump it. Then, after the black tank's dumped, you'll dump the gray. You do that because the gray water is obviously cleaner than the black water. But this has another feature called a black tank flush. So if you leave the black tank valve open, that's important to leave it open, you can hook a hose onto here at the dump station and turn it on, and it's got jets inside the black tank that'll spray it out, clean off the sensors really well. It's just a good way to end up your camping, is to really flush out your black tank, okay? So that's what that's for. Excellent. Back on my feet. Okay, we're coming around the rear now. This housing tells us, at the top tells us this is pre-wired for a backup camera. This will take it takes the camera that fits in the housing. That's important. It's a Furrion camera. So if you get one here or get one somewhere else, it doesn't matter where you get it from. Just make sure you get the right one that fits into that housing if you want to use it. You can turn it on for backing up or keep it on driving down the road, whichever you choose. Also, while we're looking up, you have to remember that this and every other trailer has to be inspected at least 3 times a season. So in the spring and in the fall and once in the middle of the summer, you're going to go up on the roof or have somebody go up there, and you're going to check out all the sealant down the roof. And you're looking for separation, cracking, that sort of thing. That's why you're inspecting it. Odds are you won't have to do anything. But you just keep inspecting, and some year, sometime, you don't know when, that's why you're inspecting it regularly. They'll have to be touched up, and as soon as you see that, you get it touched up. Either you do it yourself if you're good at that sort of thing, or experienced, or you have somebody do it, but it's got to be touched up. Oh, let me see, you got it off here. Okay, so these lights also have a button in the middle too. Okay, so this is for your awning. You got a power awning. You just extend it and you look out the door, and when it rolls out 8 feet and you'll see the metal awning tube appear after the fabric unfurls. You'll see it the metal awning tube. You know you're all the way out. Never leave this out unattended. If you're not going to be at the campsite, you roll it in, because it can get damaged in just a split second if the wind whips up. So you always want to, if you're not at the campsite, have it in. All right. Your slide room is right here. It's already out, but I'll just show you really quickly, partially. This one comes up over the floor. You can see, I'll go back out with it. When you hear this noise, that ratcheting noise right there, it does that coming in and going out, so that's how you know you're all the way in or all the way out. It does that so you can't overextend it or over retract it. So as soon as you hear that noise, you take your finger off the button. To light the water heater, it runs on gas here, so you just flip this on. Remember, always make sure there's water in the tank. The water pump that I told you about is right here. That's used if you have city water, no plumbing on the campsite. You also will use it to winterize your trailer. I can't get deeply into the winterization part other than to tell you that you draw the antifreeze in through the water pump, the intake side of the water pump, and then before you pump any antifreeze into the system, you always have to bypass the water heater. There are valves on the back of the water heater that will allow you to pump antifreeze in it without getting it into the system. Okay, I'm just looking under to see what we have here. So you can't get, I'm sorry, I'm a little off track here. I got to focus here. So you can't, the reason you can't get antifreeze into the water tank, because it'll leave a really foul taste and a bad smell that won't go away. So they put bypass valves on the back in order to bypass the antifreeze past the water heater when you're winterizing it. Okay. All right. Hopefully that makes sense to you. I'm a little. I'm suffering from heat stroke and old age at the same time, so it's a double thing. Okay. Anyway, seriously. So this is your microwave. Works like any other microwave. This is the fan I told you about, opening the baffle on the vent on the outside. You got a fan here and a light. This is your range. You always want to have it shut like this when you're traveling, because it will tend to break if you leave it up. I don't know if he's got the gas on. Let's see here. You can turn it on there. You're going to spark it. Yes, he does. So you turn this clockwise to light the burners. You got obviously a valve for each burner. The oven is a little bit different. The oven, if you look down here, at the very back there's a pilot light back there. So what you do, you go to the oven knob here, you go towards light, pilot light, which is right there, and then you depress it and hold it. Okay? While it's being held in, you spark it by turning this clockwise. When the pilot light lights, you still hold this in for another 10 or 15 seconds to heat it up. Then you just go to your operating temperature, and it cycles on and off as ovens do. But when you shut it off, keep in mind that the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven, okay? All right. But air conditioning feels good, I'll tell you that. Okay, this device here right below the range is the power converter. So what this does, it converts 110 AC into over to 12 volt DC. So you can see you got the 110 AC side. You have some circuit breakers like the ones in your house, and they're labeled, of course. Then the power is converted over to 12 volt DC on this side, and you've got 12 volt fuses here, right? If any of those fuses were to blow, they'll actually light up, and you can see them glowing through this perforation here, okay? Also, this is a battery tender, so as long as you're plugged into shore power, it's going to sense how much energy your battery needs up front. It's going to keep it totally charged up for you, which is a good thing. Also, there's a fan in here, a small fan. You'll hear it clicking on and off at times. That's just to cool it down once there's a load on it. It just goes on and off as needed, okay? Alrighty. So, your refrigerator is a Dometic gas absorption refrigerator. Because it's gas absorption, it can also work on LP gas, right? So, it's very simple. Off, on. So that's on. Then you choose your source. That says auto. Auto is almost always what you want. The reason they call it auto is because it automatically looks for electricity. And if it can't find electricity, it'll automatically switch over to gas. Or let's say you left the campsite to go to the beach for a day, and you have a power failure at the campground. It will sense that, and it'll automatically switch over to gas and light it on gas for you. So it's a good thing. It always gives you a second energy source. All right. You can run it dedicated to gas just by doing this. You see, there's a little check light here. If that check light was to turn on, or light up, I guess you would say, it means that it faulted, it didn't light. Maybe there's a little air pocket in the line or something, so you just shut it off and turn it back on again, let it cycle through one more time. And it makes 3 attempts to light, so it'll definitely light the next time. It's rare you have to do that, but just in case, that's all you do. Okay, but auto is generally where you're going to be using it. All right, cool. All right, so I showed you there was storage underneath there. I was trying to with one hand anyway. I wasn't having a whole lot of luck, but your shower and sink work like any other sink or shower. Keep in mind this GFCI here, all the plugs in the trailer are wired through a GFCI. So let's say you're using the plug outside for a coffee pot and it was to pop, you're going to reset it here. You've got a fan. You always want to, why has you got it open a little bit? You always want to run the fan with the shower to pull the humidity out, because these things are built really tight these days. So you want to pull that moisture out so you don't get any kind of mold or mildew issues. Alright, the thing to know about the toilet is this is the flush pedal, right? So you can't use it dry or without chemicals. So as soon as you get to the campground, you're going to hook up your water and your power. You come in here, you take your toilet chemical, whichever one you use, you read the directions to see what a dose is, you put a dose right in there, then you're going to step on the pedal, and you're going to put about a gallon of water in there, maybe 2 gallons tops. There's no way to tell from the monitor panel how much a gallon is. You just have to use common sense. Yeah, that's about a gallon. So the bottom line is you have to have chemical in there and water to start using it. You can't use it dry, okay? So that's important. And believe me, if you do it once dry, and it's a real mess, and you'll know it. Between the smell and if it's there too long to clean up, it's something you won't forget. So I wanted to come back over to the monitor panel and show you that this is how you check the battery level. It's totally charged, although always check it when you're not plugged in. Your fresh water is full, but we will drain it. He's just prepping it and he's water testing it. Your black has got 2/3 in it, but we will drain that. You can see it graduates up in 1/3 increments as it fills. Your gray tank is the same thing. Once you get past 2/3, you got to think about dumping it. So keep that in mind. Also, you have a sound bar here. This sound bar you can stream off the USB port. You can hook up wirelessly with Bluetooth and stream that way. It has 2 zones, inside and outside. Zone 1 is inside, or maybe this one is A and B. So zone A is inside, B is outside speakers. So it does a lot. This here is the signal booster for your television, for the digital antenna for your television. So it should always be on like that. You can shut it off, but you want it on, or you won't be able to get a good signal over the air. It'll just seize up and you get a lot of noise and all that. So this is a jackknife, so jackknife's flat to a bed. You can take the poles out of the tabletop and lay it on these cleats here, the tabletop on these cleats here, and use the back cushions to make another bed. So you got a bed there, a bed there, a bed there, 2 bunks, and plus your master, so you got a lot of sleeping space. You can pack the kids in there like sardines. You can also, you got room for a couple mattresses on the floor if you had small kids. So you're in good shape there. Okay, while I'm up here, I'm going to look, because it's over here. There's a backing plate here for another TV. There's antenna and power. You're going to want a bracket that swings out. Spend the extra money if you can and get the one that locks into place. That way you don't have to hang straps and all of that. That goes with both TVs. Otherwise you have to have strap kits, and they're always hanging there. They're kind of lousy looking, and they're always in the way. So if you can spend a little extra money to get the ones that lock in the closed position, that's the best way to go. Okay, also, this is your escape window. You push it all the way through, and then you grab a hold of this red tab and pull the screen out, and out you go. Do a flip and a perfect landing. Now these tend to loosen up over time. So let's say you're traveling out west and you're up in your Yosemite Valley. Well, you're not going to get service and it just won't stay up. Keep in mind, the tighter this cord is here, the tighter this is. So all you have to do is pull this through, tie a knot about a 1/2 inch higher to put more tension on this. Don't go overboard with it, just a little bit. So anytime you see that, you could just tighten them up a little bit and it'll solve your problem, all right? It's just an easy fix. All right, and also, this is the carbon monoxide LP gas detector here. It should always be green like that. If it goes off, you can self-test it if you ever want to. You'll see the button on the front. But if it goes off, you gather everybody up, get them outside, open the door, shut off the gas at the front and figure out what's going on, okay? Also, you have a smoke detector somewhere, right here. Let me make sure there's a battery in it. Yes, okay, so that's good. Alright, so yeah, that should always be green, and if it's not, get it serviced. That's important, obviously. Okay, so let me look around, see what we've got. The thermostat. So, thermostat's real simple. You just hit mode once to light it up. You can see we're on cool right now. Furnace, off, fan, air conditioner. The fan is just the air conditioner running without the compressor, so it just blows air and circulates air through the trailer. Keep in mind that there's about a 5 or 6 second lag time every time you, like if I was to shut off the AC and turn on heat, there would be a lag time before that happens. Or if I just turn the AC on from off, there could be 5-second lag time. So just be patient. It shows there is a built-in delay on it, okay? Alright, let me just look around, make sure we've got everything here. I think we do. Okay, so I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer at National RV Detroit. You can always refer back to this video, and you can also go online and look at manufacturers' online videos. Try to stick with the manufacturer video. Every appliance in here will have a manufacturer's video somewhere, so you can learn that way. Just all you do is copy what type of appliance it is, what the manufacturer is, and what the model number is, and it's amazing what you can find. So this says it's been winterized, but they haven't taken it off. I'll take it off right now because it's now de-winterized and ready to be camped in. Just remember to fill up your water heater before. Well, that's not working out good. I'll have to get my thing to get it off. But you fill up the water heater before you turn it on. It's important. And you're winterized, ready to go. Okay? Alright. So remember, inspect your roof 3 times a season, and make sure that to be a successful, happy camper owner, you got to use it a lot. And so to do that, you got to really plan ahead, because state parks, for example, take a long time to get into. You got to have reservations. So plan ahead and use it a lot. Thank you very much.